The same way all these rappers want to be like, I'm punk rock. Everybody wants to say that Carti's punk rock. Like, what are you talking about, bro? There's nothing punk rock.
He's just stealing the aesthetic from the 90s.
He just has tight pants and he like makes merch that like rips off old punk bands. Like, there's nothing punk rock about that.
No.
The punk rock bands that were punk rock because they were doing something completely different, angry, energetic, that was totally like counterculture, wasn't affiliated with any like corporations or traditional, you know, label music, whatever, which isn't to say that bands aren't punk once they get on a label, but I just don't really even see what is punk at all.
I know we live in a time of ignorance of objective categorical definition, of raging hypocrisy, of excessive euphemistic mental gymnastics, but that ain't it, chief. By virtue of the very essence of authentic punk, contemporary hip-hop artist Playboi Carti is not punk. He cannot be punk because punk is long dead. Punk was always destined to die, and in the current cultural climate, the classical notion of punk cannot effectively be revived. Punk was predicated on being anti-status quo. It was anti-corporate. It was music meant to rebel against not just the standards of good music or what it is meant to be talented, but also corporate capitalism, gender norms, money, social strata, and/or class. Punk was the voice of the seedy underbelly of raw, untrained talent seeking to express itself as loud as possible because it was dying to say, we don't give a fuck. Well, then comes Playboi Carti. The controversy is that Playboi Carti cannot be deemed authentically punk. It's true. Carti is not punk in the classical sense, in the rock sense, in the essence of what punk in fact was. And it's not entirely Carti's fault or his music to blame. Carti is not an anti-corporate or anti-status quo act because hip-hop itself never was anti-corporate or anti-capitalist and has long stopped being anti-status quo. I'll let Jay-Z elaborate.
Yeah, and we're not gonna stop. You know, the hip hop is young. We still growing, and we're not falling for that technology, whatever, you know, this public puts out there now. That, you know, before was the American dream. Pull yourself out of bootstraps and you can make it in America. All these lies that America told us our whole life. And then when we start getting it, they try to lock us out of it. They start inventing words like, you know, capitalist and, you know, things like that. I mean, you know, we've been called and monkeys and shit. I don't care. Those words y'all come up with, y'all got to come up with stronger words. When I say y'all, I'm not talking about you. The words they come up with, they got to come up with stronger words. We're not going to stop. We're not going to be tricked out of our position. Y'all locked us out. Y'all created a system that, you know, doesn't include us. We said, fine. We went our alternate route. We created this music. We did our thing. You know, we hustled. We fucking killed ourselves to get to this space. Now it's like, you know, eat the rich and think, man, we're not stopping. So that evolution is, you know, from us, you know, we came from selling 7 records and selling records out our trunk and, you know, no radio play.
Hip-hop never shied away from money, success, materialism, and flex. Whereas with punk, being rich, industry, mainstream, were all the highest form of insult. But back to Carti. Carti is a wealthy and successful celebrity and thrives off the status quo. Carti has never, for example, obnoxiously insulted a popular cultural or authority figure, such as someone who is of similar clout and social status in the current culture as the Queen of England was in the late 70s. Shout out Sex Pistols. And why would he? Carti has built an entire career off of rapping about accumulating wealth and being successful with and in the corporate capitalist structure. Playboi Carti is about high fashion, money, fucking bad bitches, and just being an all-around playboy. I'm sure he loves being rich, and rightfully so. He's probably worked really hard, made the right sacrifices, and earned it. He's been through a lot to get here, as evident by the soul on his track, Long Time. I doubt he would trade in the fruits of his creative labor and good luck, his wealth, blessings, and status for being punk. In essence, he's as authentically hip-hop as it gets. Now, there is an argument to be made that Carti is aesthetically and sonically punk, that he is punk within the context of hip-hop. That's because he did push the parameters or the status quo of what is considered to be good and appropriate for hip-hop, using elements from across the musical gamut such as metal, emo, punk, etc. Carti certainly has pushed the boundaries both sonically and aesthetically using fashion for what it means to be a contemporary hip-hop artist. Ironically though, hip-hop is deeply rooted in sampling, so really Carti is just even more authentically hip-hop by incorporating these various elements and performing them really well in a hip-hop context. Plus, labeling an artist as punk for pushing some boundaries within a genre is lazy and would in essence make a lot of artists who are not punk. That's because that's what an authentic, talented artist who strives to be a GOAT naturally tends to do. Although, it's worth noting that Carti definitely leans on the more artsy, boundary-pushing side of hip-hop than someone the likes of, say, J. Cole or Kendrick Lamar. Just some food for thought in this hot debate. That's the end of my video. Thank you all for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know in the comments below what you think, because I think this argument is still alive and well and worthy of discussion. Kill some pink, baby. We out.